Hello and welcome to my very first YouTube video. My name is Charlotte and I clearly love books, and I've been on Bookstagram for a while, and I thought let's try some YouTube because I've been watching it for years and I love it. And I just recently got a new bookshelf and reorganized all my books. I'll add in some footage that I put on my Instagram. It was very tiring, but I thought a great video to start with would be a bookshelf tour. I can go through in depth and also pull out some of my favorite special editions because I am a hoarder of them. Books aren't set in place, but this is draft one, and I usually reorganize them all the time just for fun, basically. Okay, so I'm going to start with this bookshelf here. This shelf is basically a lot of paperbacks. I've kind of got a bunch of different genres. They're sort of organized by height, but basically that is because this shelf gets the most sunlight in my apartment, and I've had many books damaged by that. So I figured I would put my paperbacks here because they're the least valuable, and then sort of my special editions go where the least sunlight is to try and keep them secure. Okay, so I think I'm just going to be ahead for this part. But my top three shelves are my fantasy paperbacks. I'm probably not going to go through every single book because we would be here for a very long time, but maybe I will point out some of my favorites. So Six of Crows, one of the best duologies ever. And then these are sort of teen nostalgia books. You know, we got Divergent, Hunger Games, The Selection. I've got a lot of books where there's only one book in the series that I've either read or is out so far. Lady of Darkness I read recently and loved, and I have the second one. Fragile Enchantment is a fantasy standalone and it was so good. The Dagger and the Flame is one of my favorite fantasies from this year, and I was so lucky to have been sent one of the art copies from Simon & Schuster, which I'm literally so grateful for because I love this book so much. And Spark of the Everflame was a recent read that I loved, and I have the second one, so I'm very keen. We've got Prison Healer, These Hollow Vows, Serpent and Wings of Night, which I love this series. Even the novella was so good. And then I've got the Chloe Gong Secrets of Shanghai universe. Oh, and one thing I should probably say, all of the books that are on these bookshelves, I have more bookshelves. All the books on these bookshelves are books that I have read. So I don't let myself put anything on here that I haven't read yet. I think there might be one or two exceptions. But yeah, so these are my fantasy paperbacks. Okay, and then here we have romance paperbacks. So these are some of the ones that have been sun damaged. Like this is the color that the spine used to be, and this is what it is now. So my favorites from these shelves. These are all mostly standalones with a few series within it. I also managed this Christmas to buy enough Christmas books that I got a whole Christmas romance section in that corner, which I love. Some of my favorites are Better Than the Movies and Nothing Like the Movies. They're some of the only YA romances I like, although it really bothers me that they changed the height of the books. I also recently read Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, and I loved it. And then I also read Beg, Borrow or Steal and also really enjoyed that. Love Theoretically, one of my favorite Ali Hazel books ever. The X-Files, I read this year, love it so much. And Collide was also really good. Yeah, there's a lot. You take a look. There's honestly no sort of rhyme or reason for the organization here. It's sort of color, and then it sort of got shoved where it could fit. And then this is sort of heights is what led it to be there. Bottom two shelves, this is all my thrillers, mysteries, that kind of vibe. I don't read a lot of them, but before this, they were sort of all squished into one shelf. I love Karen M. McManus because I honestly prefer YA mysteries and thrillers because I'm very easily spooked by everything. Frida McFadden, I just realized that The Housemaid and The Housemaid's Secret is out of order, which is good. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I feel like that's a classic. Prima Facie, I don't know how to pronounce that. That one's really good. And then I love the Inheritance Games series. That is like one of my favorite YA mystery series. Okay, so my second bookshelf, this is mostly romances that I love and I have sort of like special editions of, or just my favorite romances. These top two shelves are my Sarah J Maas collection. I would love one day to have like an even bigger space to like spread these out and display all the books, because I have the beautiful A Touch of Magic design dust jackets and they are beautiful. I love them. This one is also stunning. I hope that's in the shop. I've got the hardcovers for all three series. Then I have the paperbacks on this shelf, and I have the original ACOTAR paperbacks that I got at a book fair for like $4 each. And then I have like a few little decorations. Oh, I have my little cereal sitting on the edge. I have my beautiful ACOTAR candle. I have it's dangerous. This is like a little painting of the Archeron dresser. And then paperback I haven't read that's on the shelf. I have Catwoman by Sarah J Maas. I saw this at a recent book fair and it was like $4, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. Do I see myself reading this? No. Unless someone tells me it's really good, I probably won't read it, so I just put it straight on the shelf. Okay, I also have this sign that says, yes, I really do need all these books, which I love. And carrying on from Sarah J Maas, my other favorite author of all time, Emily Henry. I love her so much, and Book Lovers is my favorite book of all time, but I've literally rated every single one of her books 5 stars, apart from like her older backlist, which I also have the other two, but I haven't read them yet. Would you be shocked to hear this isn't even all my Emily Henry books? I have the large paperbacks in another spot. Yes, my most prized possessions would be my Afterlight editions. They're so pretty. I wanted to move them because they were starting to get sun damaged. Yeah, and I have all the US versions, UK. I have a problem. I love her. I think the next two shelves are sort of like more of my favorite authors and favorite series. The Addicted Calloway Sisters series by Krista and Becca Ritchie is like probably my favorite romance series that exists. It's so good. The Found Family is so good. So Fairyloot Heartstopper special editions, because book one I can't find for a good price. But I love Heartstopper. I've got the Mind, I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, I'll put it on the screen. This is one of my favorite books / series ever. These are like the bind-ups, and this is the Mystic box edition that they did. Hannah Grace collection. So I have the Fairyloot copies, I have the indie version of Icebreaker, then I have the Probably Smart versions, then I have the normal paperbacks, and then one of my beautiful friends got me an ARC for Daydream, which was the best thing ever. And then I have a couple special editions for Taylor Jenkins Reid, who I love. And then the last couple shelves, so you have the Chestnut Spring series and the Rose Hill. I actually can't remember what the series is even called. Match. And I also have the, what is this, Bookish Box Wild Love Cup. Then I have my Abby Jimenez collection. I adore her. I love every single book she's ever written. These three are all 5 stars for me. I just like a few days ago got in the mail Beamy Lit covers. Truly is signed, which my Catherine Walsh books, if you don't know who she is, she's an Irish author, and she wrote Holiday Romance and Snowed In, which you may have heard of. They're like quite popular Christmas romances. They're in my Christmas romance section, but I love all of her books. She's so funny. I have my Lauren Asher collection, so Dirty Air series, Dreamland Billionaires, and then Lakefront Billionaires. Twisted series, Talia Hibbert, the Windy City series, one of my favorite series ever. The Boys of Tommen, which I love also. And then, is this the Bright Fall series? I don't know, Delilah Green doesn't care. So this is the new bookshelf that I just put up. And this mostly has special editions because it gets the least sunlight. So I am hoping that means they won't get damaged. I have the LitJoy Cool Print set, which is probably one of my top 2 special edition sets ever. I love it so much. It's got annotations from Holly Black. I have the US covers of the Plated Prisoner series. These 2 are Legendborn and Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn. I love that series. And then I have Fairyloot Divine Rivals and the Divine Rivals bookish box. It's beautiful, and again, it has annotations from the author, which I think is so cool. These are my Once Upon a Broken Heart books. So I have the Fairyloot editions, and then I have the Fae Crate dust jackets. I would get them out, but I don't want to ruin the stack. Editions of Belladonna. I have the new Caraval box set, which I just got for Christmas, and I love it, and I just read Spectacular. I love this series. Spectacular was odd, and I need to talk about it. First half was like good, and then the second half was just anyway. We have some more Immortal Dark book I loved this year. I have the US copies of Belladonna, which are not. Why is nothing in the right order? You can tell I was really exhausted by then. I was just shoving books in. I have my Fourth Wing special editions, which at some point I had like 10 copies of Fourth Wing. Like I just could not stop buying them. It was an issue, but I sold most of them, and I have settled on. I kept the Fairyloot ones and the Waterstones editions because I think they're going to make like cool edges when they all line up. And When the Moon Hatched, the Serpent and Wings of Night, One Dark Window. I cannot for the life of me get the second book at a reasonable price for the Fairyloot edition, so I got the Barnes & Noble editions. This is Mary E. Pearson books, so the Dance of Thieves duology, I think that's these 2, which are very popular, and then the Remnant Chronicles, which are these ones, and these are the Fairyloot editions. Here are all my like Fairyloot editions, like if I don't have the series, or most of the time it like came in like a monthly box or something like that. The last 2 shelves. So this shelf is my Afterlight romance special editions. One of my most prized possessions is the Bridgerton set. I also have all the Ali Hazelwood Afterlight editions, which are, these are mostly like series from Afterlight. Down here I sort of have, it's a bit random, I've got like hardcovers and like tall paperbacks of romances and fiction, and like a couple memoirs that didn't fit on the other romance shelves because they were too tall. So they're there. And all the other books are my Afterlight sort of subscription books. Okay, and then I almost forgot, but I also stuffed some books on the top shelves. I have my Cassandra Clare collection so far. Shadow Me Fairyloot books, Samantha Shannon books, Emily Wilde, and then my Six of Courier books. And then I got this great plushie from Illumicrate. So yeah, that is everything on my red shelves. I will now take you probably a lot more quickly through my unread shelves, and then also I have a few random places with other books. So hidden in this corner behind the Christmas tree, there's a lamp with some space. So there I have all my large paperbacks of Emily Henry. And then down here, I have my Taylor Jenkins Reid paperbacks. I kind of want to change it because like the spot is really big, but also they get knocked off all the time by cats. So, and then there is another lamp. So in this one, I've got all my Heartstopper books. I love Heartstopper so much. Here I've got all the Magnolia Parks books, and the US covers of Binding and Keeping 13. And then down the very bottom, camera will go, is the Shadow Me series in the like standard paperback covers. And I don't think I mentioned, all the ones in the lights are books that I've read, but they were overflowing from my bookshelf, so I moved them here. Okay, so now we have come to the corner with all of my physical TBR. So these are all books that I haven't read. Up here, I've got a couple prints. So the last couple, someone on Etsy to make these like art prints of my favorite books of the year. So I'll do another one this year. They're really fun. Let me just do a very quick overview. This shelf, the bottom is kind of a mix of like genres I don't read that much. So I've got some mystery thriller, literary fiction, some memoirs, and then all of these are my romance books. They are like double stacked. Oopsies. This shelf is all my fantasy that I have to read. So I seem to have a lot. Shelf is subscription books that I haven't gotten around to reading, which is really bad, and is one of my goals for next year to try and actually read the subscription books soon so they don't stack up. A bunch of Cassandra Clare to finish. This is also double stacked here. These are all the books. I might just do like a little sort of pan over.
You've been there from the start, inside my corner, yeah. When it gets cold and dark, you make it warmer.
So that is the end of my bookshelf tour. I hope that you enjoyed watching and looking at some pretty books. It's not perfect, but I love staring at it. And thank you so much if you made it to the end of my first video. I have a few more ideas I'll probably do some like end of year wrap up 2025 goal type videos. Yeah, thank you so much for watching.
I'm looking for a 5-star